Good morning, welcome to the shooting show. I'm Gerwyn Jones. Today we're going to be shooting over this bean stubble field. And what we're going to be doing is protecting the farmers' crops again, but we're intercepting them. They've been on this bean stubble since they harvested it, and then behind us is a wheat stubble which has been direct drill with winter oilseed rape, and the pigeons have hoovered up most of the spilt beans on here, but they're pecking away and pulling at some of the drilled oilseed rape over there. So that is the plan today. Don't know what it's going to be like. Haven't shot on this field for a couple of years. We've got a track through the middle of the field which is access into the estate. We're miles away from any houses or anything here. They are multiple hundreds of meters to those properties down there which are on the edge of the estate, and we've got the River Thames just the other side of the trees down there, so we're in a nice little spot in the Thames Valley. So we'll see what today brings. Got the old shot cam out today. We'll see where I'm missing using that. It's always handy. For a change today, well, it's not a change actually, I've been using them all summer. I'm using the Ely Grand Prix high velocity 32 gram 5s. I've shot quite a few of them now, probably 2,000 or 3,000 just over the summer. Just a bit of a change. Still love the Zenith, but just trying these out and really getting on quite nicely with them. They're very similar speed to the Zenith, but I think for stuff like pigeon control, and if you want to shoot sort of slightly longer range stuff, these are a very, very good cartridge and a little bit more affordable than the Zenith. A lot of people have mentioned, you know, I'm using Zenith to shoot pigeons. Well, it's because they're the best, that's the reason I use them. But I do understand, you know, sometimes you don't want to be spending that kind of money to shoot pigeons, so try the old faithful Grand Prix. It's the first cartridge I ever fired, I reckon. I think that's all that used to be available years ago in the farm supplies. So anyway, you'll see today, I'll hit a few, miss a few, no doubt, but they're a very, very good cartridge, and you don't see many people using them these days. Perfecto. I don't think I'm going to bother using the cartridge bag today. I'll just put that in the bottom of the hide. This is the old faithful acorn saddlery. Still, in my opinion, the best that money can buy. This is an old one. I've got another one, but it's the leather so lovely and soft and supple. And a good tip for anybody, if you want to get them just that little bit more, if a bit easier to pull out, just get some corks, wine corks or something like that. Just cut them, they fit perfectly. You can see I've done them in all the spaces there. A loader showed me this on an estate last year or the year before. So it just comes out much easier, so it doesn't matter on a day like today, pigeon shooting, it's all calm and steady, but if you're on a drive or something like that, on a pheasant drive and they want to get them out quick, that just pushes them up a bit. So quite a good idea, I thought. Anyway, onwards and upwards. I've got dead pigeons in the back here for decoys. They've been in the freezer. I haven't shot pigeons for quite a while now, so I've got 10 or 11 dead pigeons. I'm going to put a whirly out. Got a couple of whirlies in here. This is a really, really old one. That's like a spare. I'll throw that there. Dog's water. This is meant to be quite warm today. You always need loads of water. These nets got saturated the last time I was out, so I've had them drying in the garage at home. That's why they're in a different bag. So I've got a few pidgeys here for decoys. hide seat. And we're lucky today that we can drive where we want to start building. Sometimes you have to carry it and then you just have to reduce your kit. Otherwise you spend all day humping stuff to wherever you need to be. This is from the UK Shoot warehouse. I bought this back in the summer because all the other ones are donkeys years old, so this is going to have its second outing today. I always put camo tape. You can also go to Halfords and get matte paint as well, camo, grey, whatever, and just basically dulls it down. But this cloth camo tape doesn't shine, doesn't reflect, makes a heck of a difference. I put it on the arms as well, so that makes a big difference. That there. Going to start today with one whirly. I've put extension arms on as well. So actually, I took that off to spray it there. So, like so. And get a nice wide, or at least you do if you don't cover it with tape. There we are. So that goes on there, like so. It's just quite, as you can see, that's quite wide. And I just tip these inwards like so. You'll see when I set the whirly up later. Always, always, always tilt the pigeons to the center of the circle, not outwards, always inwards. I've had a couple of messages over the summer and earlier, and sorry I haven't got back to anybody before, but they've asked about these gun holders. These are quite simply, you can get them online. They're designed for quad bikes and things like that. They come in pairs and you can open them out. They're very strong. They've got grips in them. I've just bolted them onto this hide pole and the gun goes in them and it's totally secure. They will never ever come out of that. So you can just go online and get them anywhere. But that's what they are. And apologies, a couple of guys sent me messages and I didn't get back to them soon enough, but this is what they are anyway, so you can all see. So you've got a southeasterly wind today. Quite an unusual wind actually for this time of year. Anyway, that's what we've got. Which is sort of there, which is behind us. Birds are coming from that direction, and that direction. I think in a perfect world, I would have maybe preferred a very, very strong, something northerly. I probably would have gone down on that bottom side. So the shots then are coming away from where the lines are, whereas it is now, the shots are going to be carried down these two lines. They won't be carried down those two lines, so we'll see what happens. But these particular pigeons have been feeding on a huge pea field off the edge of this estate all summer. And I mean this, there were thousands on there all summer, quite literally thousands. We can't shoot it, it's surrounded by horses and things like that, so just impossible to shoot. Shot a few flight lines coming to and from it, but there've been so many pigeons up there, and these pigeons now have dispersed onto this area and some other areas in the locality. So we will see how they behave. One thing with a southerly, it's always a good thing if you've got a southerly wind from any southeast, southeast, southwest, doesn't matter. The sun's always behind you during the course of the day. It might start out one side or the other, but it'll go around, so predominantly it's behind you most of the day. So you're not as conspicuous as what you might be. And when you're shooting northerly, obviously you're shooting into the sun. I'm just putting a few extra nets up than what I would normally use, just because there's going to be two of us in the hide, and then there's just always potentially a little bit more movement. I'll leave that there. This is just low down, just so as any movement low down in the hide is completely blotted out. but you don't want to make it so dark that it just looks like a big black blob, because they'll pick up on that. So I'll put a lighter net over now. Said, just want to make sure that bit there, I'm going to be this side, Ollie's going to be here with the camera. The pigeons come round from there, just want to make sure they're not looking in too much on that side. This side shouldn't be so bad. Got a lot of protection here from this coppice behind us. Pidgeys, wind is behind us, so what I'm going to do is put the whirly down there as the attractor, put the pigeons here. Hopefully they'll see the whirly coming to have a look, spot the decoy statics which are feeding, and come into the statics. In a perfect world. So you can see the beans look on the floor. This is what the pigeons are coming after, and have been until they've moved on to the right there. These beans have had moisture, they call that chitting, so that's basically now starting to regen, grow again. But this is what they're after, and you'll see, when you see pigeons on bean stubble like this, they don't take long to feed. Imagine how big those beans are. They're not in there for long. They'll come in, fill their crops, go away and rest. So if you see pigeons coming to a field and going to a field, you don't necessarily have to see lots and lots of pigeons on the field, because they don't spend that much time. They're in, full and gone. So if you see a nice constant flow, you should be in for an okay time of it. As you can see, there's a lot of beans on this field, which obviously very, very, very dry summer. When they harvested it, they would have just fallen out. The simple as that. They wouldn't have all gone in the harvester. But it was noticeable. With I got a tip yesterday from the keeper saying there's a few pigeons about, blah blah blah. They'll be on that because of the rape going into it. Rape's their favourite food. They love it. So we'll see what happens. There's not as much wind as they said there was going to be, actually. But anyway, it'll be what it'll be. There's loads in the trees just behind us. So from the right, that might come over the hedge. Maybe it didn't like the whirler. Okay, we've been here 40 odd minutes, we shot a couple, but there's something they really, really don't like, so I'm just going to nip out. I'm going to switch off the whirly and swap it. Oh my God, don't say that's going to come, and it is. That hasn't seen me, it's going to do might turn in. See that, even that, and that's a youngish pigeon. Tell where the colour is. Right, let's just nip out. I'll move these out of the shadow as well. Push them out into the sun. I'll get the one we shot. I'm going to put the one we shot on the flapper because that's a very nice fresh bird, and just switch off the whirly. Dead bird flying. So I've just put a face mask on. These pigeons are really not liking it. We cannot get them to. We tried chopping and changing. I think the truth of the matter is somebody's probably had a go at them on a neighbouring estate recently, the way they're behaving. They're sort of coming in and then just veering off them. There's nothing here. We're not doing nothing. But I'm just going to try with the face mask, see if that makes any difference. But there's a few pigeons moving around now. We've had a few shots the last few minutes, but very little is decoying. It's just leery, sliding away, slippy stuff. Got him. So we've been here just over 2 hours now. We've shot a dozen or so. I've missed a few. I've been shooting at some long, leery things that aren't really committing, just having a pop, but they're just not wanting it. We've chopped and changed around, but it's one of them. They may have fed you see early this morning. I think it's worth hanging on because we've seen an awful lot of pigeons come into this field, and they're coming from a long way. They're flying high, which is a good sign. And I think they're just in the woods around us, just sat up. Every time we have a shot, there's pigeons everywhere, but they're just not decoying. Everything we've shot so far has pretty much just been flying by, having a look. So we'll definitely hang on for a little bit and see, because if they switch on, we could get into quite a good number. Oh, that was a high one. That's it. Yeah, I think we'll call it. It's been a frustrating day. It's been great sport. Shot some lovely birds. Missed some I should never have missed. But just a tricky day. Really, really tricky. We've tried all sorts. And the amount of pigeons that come to this field today has been pretty serious. But yeah, anyway, one of them. It's been great fun. We've kept the pigeons off this field, so we've done some good. We've done a lot of good, and we've thinned quite a few out as well. So all good, as they say. Righto, so we're all finished. We've had a good sporting day. We could have killed a few more. I could have hit a few more. We've seen a lot of pigeons. They haven't really decoyed, but that's the way it goes. Some days they do, some days they don't. We've seen, like I said, we've seen a lot, but had some wonderful fun doing, you know, critical job in the countryside, keeping these pigeons off the crop, the newly drilled crop behind us. So yeah, been an enjoyable day. Great to have Ollie down. Just a good day, just a good day. Killed a nice few pigeons, had some memorable shots, had some misses that will haunt me as well, but that's just the way it goes. But yeah, all in all, thank you very much for watching. This has been The Shooting Show. I'm Gerwyn Jones, and see you on the next one.
Hello and welcome to The Shooting Show. This week I'm going to have a look at the new Pulsar Mergers and also the Pulsar C50 rifle scope. So I've got the new Pulsar Merger binoculars here. These are taken over from my Accolades. I did before have the Accolade Pro 2s. I've now upgraded to these, and they really are nice. There's a couple of really nice features I like about these. One's the ergonomics and the shape of them, a lot more like a traditional pair of binoculars. The other thing I like is there's a little sensor just on here, which means that when you bring them up to your eyes, they straight away come on, and then when you take them away from your eyes again, within a couple of seconds you'll see that the screen cuts off. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the light from that's cut off. So when it's hanging around your neck, you don't get the light shining up onto your chest and your face, and also it obviously saves power in that as well. So you get a little bit better battery life. Apparently you get about 10 hours out of this with the internal battery, and also it takes a battery in the middle here as well in the bridge there. So yeah, really impressed with these, really nice bit of kit. So this is the first time I brought them out. I've only had a couple of quick sort of peeks through them, but yeah, they look great. So we're going to be trying these tonight. I've also got a built-in laser rangefinder on there as well too, which is a massive advantage at night. The other thing I'm using is the Pulsar C50 night vision rifle scope. This is really good because at this time of day, as you can see, it's almost dark, but with this I'm still getting a good colour image. In fact, I was just looking at some sheep there. I'll just quickly record that so you can see exactly what I'm seeing through this. So yeah, that's still nice and clear. I could quite easily shoot rabbits or a fox or anything if it came through there at the moment. So yeah, my plan for the evening is just see if I can knock over a few rabbits. So I'm just going to stand here, let it get dark, and see what comes through. So as you can see, it's getting pretty dark now. This is where the C50 really shines. At the moment it's too dark for my camera to pick up anything, so I've had to go over to infrared. But yeah, through the C50 it's basically like daylight still, even though it's too dark to see anything with a naked eye. Well, actually I can tell I can just about make out the white blobs of sheep just there, and like the darker hedgerows. But yeah, it's definitely, you wouldn't pick out a rabbit or a fox, but yeah, through this I could still see easily a fox or a rabbit. Very clever bit of kit. Right, that's 2 rabbits down. They were both probably only 50 yards. Yeah, about 45, 50 yards, so not too far at all. Easy for the HMR, just point and shoot. So yeah, 2 down, clear as a day in that scope. So we've got a couple more rabbits just out here. They're about 60 yards, or 60 metres I should say. There we go, 2 more added to the bag. Also got one. There's one out there. He is at 155 metres, so about 170 yards, give or take. But I can still see that clearly through the scope. There's a little bit of wind, but just going to give it a little bit for windage and just hold off slightly. That's what I love about the HMR. It's such a flat shooting round. I just gave that just a little bit of elevation and just aimed off slightly for the wind, and little round gets down there a tree. Knock that one over, beautiful. This is the Tikka T1X, by the way. Beautiful little rifle. It's really rekindled my love for HMR. I had one years ago, but I didn't really get on with it. But this one, it's like a little laser. It's brilliant. I love the thing. I'll have to get one because they do them in left hand as well. Right. I'll let these few bunnies up. So as you can see, the C50 performed well enough there. Most of these shots, well, as you can see, the majority of them are headshots, and they were all pretty much around about the 100 yard mark or a little bit closer. One I think was 160, 170 yards or whatever it was. But other than that, most of them were normal kind of HMR ranges. But using it there with the PBI-IL, I was able to stretch it out a bit further. So yeah, rifle performed really well, very accurate little rifle that. C50 just, yeah, does what it says on the tin. Good all-round night and day scope that. And the mergers, these are really nice too. Again, faultless as you'd expect. Yeah, very nice on the eye, nice big display on there as well. And rangefinder built in, which, well, I don't think it let me down once. It was it worked every time. So yeah, so that's the kit, and as you'd expect, worked really nicely this evening. So it's a good little combination that. Right, I'm going to get this lot cleaned out and I'm heading home. Thanks for watching.
If you aren't a member of Basque, it's time to join now. Basque, looking after your sport, looking after you.